So today we're going to be talking about graphing linear functions. So we're going to start off with a linear function. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the intercepts. Now, as we discussed in the last video, there's a y-axis and an x-axis. Anywhere it crosses the x-axis, where it crosses the x-axis, is the x-intercept. Where it crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. So we're going to go over two examples of graphing a line based on this. If you have the x-intercept and the y-intercept, all you need are 2 points to graph a line. So we're going to focus on that to begin with. Okay, so let's start with x and y-intercept. We're going to do two of those, and then we're going to move on to something else. So looking at number 1 on this note sheet. Again, this is our graphing note sheet. If you need this, let me know, and I will make it for you. We're going to start off with their x-intercept. We know the x-intercept is 3, so it crosses the x-axis at 3. I'm going to plot my point. If it says the x-intercept is 3, we're going to write our specific point. So this point is actually going to be 3, 0. Remember, you do the x and the y. If it crosses the x-axis, it's not up or down. It's on the 0 section of our y-axis, okay? It doesn't go anywhere. It's just right there, okay? That is our x-intercept. Now our y-intercept is 5, so it crosses at 5. Let's write that as a point. So it doesn't go left or right at all, so it's going to be 0. And it goes up 5, so our y value is 5. This is the y-intercept. This is the x-intercept. Remember, to plot points, you always do the x, then the y. Okay? Now we have our 2 points. I'm going to draw a line with my extra long ruler. If you guys don't have rulers at home, that's fine too. As long as it's kind of straight, you can tell it's a line. Now, lines are continuous. They never end, so make sure you add arrows at the end. Okay? Let's do one more with the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and then we're going to talk about why the slope-intercept form and how to use it. Okay? And we're going to skip number 3 on this one. So the x-intercept is 3, meaning we cross the x-axis at 3. Let's write that point. So we go to the right 3, so our x value is 3, and we don't go up or down at all, so it's just going to be 0. Our y-intercept is -3, so it's going to cross at -3 on the y-intercept. If we go on this one, we're going to graph that point. Let's write down what the point is. So we know we don't go left or right at all, so it's going to be 0 because it's on the black line. Our x value is 0. And it goes down 3, so it'd be -3. We're going to draw our line. And that is, close enough. I don't think I'm going to use that big ruler anymore. Okay, so now that we have talked about how to graph using the x and y intercepts, let's talk about using slope-intercept form. Now, slope-intercept form. Is the most typical way of graphing a line. Slope-intercept form is written as y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Remember, y is where it crosses on the y-axis, and our slope is rise over run. So let's figure it out based on our slope-intercept form. So let's start with the graph. Now the first thing we're going to look at is our y-intercept. So I'm going to actually skip ahead to number 5, and we'll come back to the other ones later. So let's label it y equals mx plus b. My m is paired with the x, so my slope is 1/2. My y-intercept is our b, which is +2. We're going to start at our y-intercept. We start at +2. We're going to follow our slope. Our slope is +1/2. Remember, it's rise over run. That means we're going to go up 1 to the right 2. And we're going to continue that pattern. Up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Now, if you want to, you can also do this in reverse. But make sure that if you make one negative, you make both negative, because a negative divided by a negative is positive. So I can go down 1 and to the left 2. Down 1 to the left 2. Down 1 to the left 2. Okay? That is how we would graph this line. Now let's look at the next one. Let's look at this graph. Let's start with -5. Remember, this is our b. Our b is -5, so that means it's going to cross the y-axis at -5. Our slope is paired with our x. Y equals mx plus b. Our m is going to equal the number that is with our x value, or -5/2. If we start here, we're going to have to do something a little bit different. Now remember, if this is our slope, it's -5/2, that is also the same thing as +5/2. So remember, you can do it both of these ways. The only reason I'm saying that is because we can't really go down 5 on our graph. So instead, we're going to go up 5 and to the left 2. This will still give us our downward motion. Okay? So we're going to go up 5
Miss Rebecca Lewis
and
Davis,
right
please
or
report
left
to
2,
the gym.
like this.
Miss Rebecca Lewis Davis, please report to the gym. Thank you.
I'm sorry, even when you guys aren't here, they're still interrupting us, okay? So that is how you would graph that one. Again, you can go up 5 and to the left 2. It just needs to make this downward motion. A negative slope goes this way. A positive slope goes up to the right. A negative slope goes down to the right. Let's do these two, and then we're going to look at the other page. So looking at this one, we're going to start with -5 as our b. And our slope is the number paired with our x, which is negative. There's no number here. If there's no number here, it's understood to just be a 1. So we're going to start at -5. Our slope is -1. If it is -1, understand that if it's a whole number, it's over top of 1. So it'd be down 1 to the right 1. Now again, it also means we can do up 1 to the left 1. It doesn't matter as long as it is in that downward motion. So I'm going to do both ways. Okay? If you guys have questions on that, please ask. And this is kind of what my line is going to look like. And let's do this one. Our slope is the number paired with our x. Much like the last one, it is going to be -1/1, or 1/-1 means the same thing. Just goes it goes the same direction, just opposite ways. Okay? So b, our y-intercept, is the number that is adding to it, or the 1. We're going to start off at our y-intercept. It crosses the y-axis at +1. Our slope is -1/1, so we're going to go down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. We're going to continue on. Down 1 to the right 1. And that's close enough. Like that. Make sure you add arrows on the end, because it is continuously moving. Okay, so let's look at this one here, and we'll come back to this one. Y equals 1/5 x. Well, we know our slope is paired with our x. And our slope is 1/5. This one doesn't have a number for our b. If it doesn't have a number, that means it's adding 0 to it. So our b value is just going to be 0. So it's going to cross where y is 0, or the origin. Now our slope is 1/5, so we're gonna go up 1 to the right 5. Or we can go down to the left 5. Just make sure it is moving upward on your graph. Like that. Now this one's a special case. I'm gonna write 2 different graphs here. We're gonna graph the bottom one first, and then we're gonna graph this one a different color. I'm gonna color it. That one's gonna be a purple line, okay? So let's start with x equals 1. Let's start with that one. So first off, I'm gonna look on my x-axis. Where does x equal 1? I'm gonna make a point there. Can x be 1 over here? No, because x is 2. Can x be 1 over here? No. Can it be over here? No. Can it be up here? Is x still 1 if I make a point right here? Well, yeah, because this didn't move anywhere. Does x equal 1 down here? Yeah. This makes a vertical line. I'm going to give you guys a heads up. If it's an x equals graph, is not a function. Because with our one input value of x, we have an infinite number of solutions and not just one solution. We have to have one solution for every value of x. So this is our x equals. X equals vertical line. Y equals is going to be a little different. We're going to make this one something. So let's start with y equals 2. Well, let's start on our y-axis. Y equals 2 right here. Does y equal 2 over here? No, because it's at 5. We can't do that. What about over here? No. Here? Yeah, because it's still at the 2 place on our line, or on our graph. So a y equals graph is a horizontal line. And with this one, the slope is going to equal 0 because it doesn't go up or down. For a vertical line, like this one, the slope is undefined. An undefined slope is not a function. And this is x equals. X equals has a slope of undefined and is not a function.